Hey, thank you, first of all, for joining. And I want to share with you, I don't know about you, the whole presentation is breaking free from the overwhelm, navigating the noise with confidence, right? Because let's face it, in wait, see, I'm used to my new thing. Okay, for a moment, if you can, if it's safe to do so, just take a moment, let go. Some people might be working, some people might be driving. I hope you're not driving and watching. Be safe no matter what you're doing, but take a moment. Don't worry about what's happening behind you. Don't worry about what's happening in front of you. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about dinner. Just allow yourself to be present in this moment. It's interesting. So, I do everything guided by my intuition. And normally I would say, let's do a quick meditation. Let's get connected. Let's allow. And I'm just changing the lighting here. It's a little bright. And I don't really feel the need to. I just want you to breathe and let go. The other thing I want you to do is, and what I encourage you to do is, if you find your mind wandering, that's okay. Because your subconscious is a powerful force, and your inner intuition and your inner wisdom is also a powerful force. You are going to hear what you need to hear. You are going to connect with what you need to connect with, right? I want to say hi to Wendy, and I'm so glad you missed me, Deja. Okay, so just let go, let the cares of tomorrow, an hour from now, yesterday, let it all go. Okay, let's be open to receiving. Remember as well, intuition or your inner wisdom is 100% your superpower. Never forget about it and always use it. But if you do forget about it, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. You're tuning in. And when you're reminded, it's not to shame you, it's to go, hey, listen up, listen up. I'm here. I want to be connect. So let's get in with this. So, how often do you end up feeling overwhelmed by the vast amount of external advice, right? We are currently living in a decade, which is amazing. We get information at the snap of our tips, we get guidance, we get like how to's, we get so many cool things. But at the same time, as this amazing knowledge and truth comes out, it can end up making you feel completely overloaded, because look at this. This is just a snapshot of everything that's coming at you, right? We have teachers and gurus, we have how-to books and, self-improvement books and books about, you know, with information at your fingertips, no matter what it's about. You can find a book about it, whether it's on an ebook, a physical book, knowledge, like Kindle, whatever it is. There's a vast variety of books out there, right? And then there are those experts out there as well. And sometimes we wonder, well, what makes an expert and who isn't an expert? How do they get some title? Do they have to qualify to call themselves experts, or are they just, you know, out there saying, hey, I'm an expert at this because of their vast experience and knowledge? That's up for you to decide. I'm not going to determine who's an expert and who's not. That's not my job. You get to, but there's so many experts, right? On Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Threads, on there's another one out there, Clubhouse. Like there's on YouTube. There's so many different ways all these people are coming on and telling, and based on your algorithms and things that you liked, you can get bombarded by a variety of different opinions, how to's, should not to's, and all of these amazing things. Then there's coaches, and as I mentioned, social media. Oh, right, and podcasts, right? Like, oh my gosh, there's so many things out there that are like, you should be doing this and you should be doing that and let go of this and let go of this. And what what happens is with common issues, and what happens to you is a variety of different things. But I'm going to focus on a couple of them. So the first one that can happen is obviously confusion, right? Like, but even when I'm listening to experts and gurus and teachers and podcasts and how to's and how what not to do, it can be like, wow, I don't know what to do, right? So overexposure to conflicting advice can absolutely lead to confusion and making it even more challenging to make and trust any decision you make. We are also a society of fierce and harsh judgment. And if you tell someone what you've done, whether it's online or even in person, you can end up feeling very judged by other people because they're like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, right? So this can actually result in decision paralysis where you end up feeling stuck, unable to move forward. And then in the end, you can also end up feeling more shame than you started with and end up sinking even deeper into fear or disconnection and distrust in yourself, which then leads into another point. Common issue number two is lack of self-trust, right? When you have constant exposure to external options or opinions, what happens is your self-confidence ends up eroding away, and also you end up with a lack of trust in your in your own judgment, in your own experience, right? So then this lack of self-trust will definitely impact and ripple into your decision making ability, and it actually can even prevent you from personal self-growth because it's so overwhelming. There's so much variety of how to's and what to do's and what not to do's. It ends up making you feel over hopeless and overwhelmed and just being like, well, I'm never going to figure it out. I'm never going to know what to do and how I should do it and how to move forward. So why bother trying, right? Common issue that arises from the wealth of overwhelming advice and how to's. So then you also can end up comparing. You do so that comparison. Continuous exposure seems like a great idea. Like, "Ooh, what's going on here and who's doing this?" But it can also end up fostering and harboring and growing feelings of I'm never going to be good enough. Not doing this and I should be doing this. I'm doing this, but according to this expert, this is wrong. I should be doing this. And but this expert says this. Like it totally will always end up feeling like you're not doing enough or that you're never going to achieve what you want because you're not doing this one specific thing, right? So comparing yourself to external standards is going to end up creating unrealistic expectations of yourself. Forget about life, forget about external stuff, but it's going to lead to unrealistic expectations, leading to dissatisfaction, leading to feelings of unworthiness, leading to feelings of disconnection and letting go, all internally, right? And forget about the external stuff, but that's what's going to affect you. But in the internal is where you harbor things and where you emanate and where things grow, right? Well, another that common issues when you allow information overload to come into your life, like thinking that everybody else knows than you, is you lack authenticity. So, following that external advice without asking yourself, how does this make me feel? Does it align with my values? Is this really something I want to do? It can make you feel like you're still, again, a disconnection from yourself. Like, I don't know about you, but a lot of my clients have been saying, I just want to feel like myself again. I just want to connect to myself on another level. I want to know my purpose. I want to know what I like. I want to feel a spark. I want to feel, right? I want to feel something other than fear, doubt, hesitation, and all of those things, right? So when you have that loss of authenticity and disconnection from self, you're compounding the original problem where you were trying to elevate from in the first place, right? So this habit of disconnecting from what you really want and how you really feel will lead to a sense of emptiness and deepen again your lack of self-esteem. 100%. And then again, as I've kind of already touched on, feeling that overwhelming feeling and stress. The sheer volume of advice and guidance, it almost is like a full-time job that you have to sort through. Who has time for that? Time for that? We're all living. We want to do things. We want to grow. We want to be with friends. We want to be with family. We want to live. We want to experience. I don't know about you, but I want to read. I want to hike. I want to explore. I want to eat. I want to sleep. So who has time to sift through all of this and test it and figure out what's going to work for you, right? So managing expectations of others while trying to, adhere to various recommendations is extremely emotionally taxing, leaving you again shut down subconsciously and consciously because your subconscious is there to protect you. And whether you can feel it or not, your subconscious is going to feel when you're overwhelmed, when you're taxed, when you're anxious, and it's going to go, nope. Nope. You know what? I don't care if she likes that or not. I don't care if that's going to support her or not. It's too much. We got to shut things down. Whew. So you can read it over and over again, but we're not going to let it stick because it's just compounding a problem. Subconscious is there to protect you. right? So understand that that feeling of overwhelm and stress can be because you're not authentically connecting to yourself. And then the other thing is unable to prioritize, right? Too much advice and guidance and how to's is going to make it difficult for you to prioritize your goals and values. Again, you might have a different variety of goals, and there's a mass amount of ways to get there. So, how do you figure out which is going to work for you? Right? It can also end up leading to constant pursuit of external validation. And when you rely on external validation, what that's doing is it becomes like the best way I can describe this is like, if you have something, it's kind of like a high, okay? I hope this is okay. I hope this doesn't offend anybody. But when we have that external validation, oh, this is a good one. Okay. Thank you, universe. Thank you, oracles. When we get external validation, when someone says "I love you" for the first time, when you get that first kiss, when you get that oof attention from someone that you just adore, it feels so good because you get a rush of dopamine, right? But eventually, that external validation, you need more and more and more and more. So external validation is only good for a little while. And really what you're looking to do is validate yourself internally and go, no matter what anybody else says, fuck it. Oops, oops, whatever. By the way, yeah, I'm just blunt and honest. So if you don't like my style, that's okay. This probably isn't going to work for you anyways. But honestly, when you don't have the need for external validation anymore, you stop looking for things outside of you. Okay, so then you start looking at what truly matters to you. So look, this right. We want to stop the madness. We want to stop the anxiety. We want to stop the overwhelm. We want to stop all of that crap that is just overwhelming us. So how do you do that? Ironically, why would you listen to me? Especially after I shared all the reasons not to, right? So it's like, I totally understand. It feels honest to God when I was even making this, I was like, Jesus Christ, this feels so hypocritical. Like, why would I create this? And then why am I going to tell people to listen to me? But here's the thing. So first of all, I want to share a little bit of my backstory with you. Okay, so why did I create this program? Well, this is me. This is me in the year 2012 when I just turned 30 and my whole world came crumbling down. Like I felt like I was just barely holding on to strings and just, everybody, I grew up being told what to do, how to think, be worried about what other people think, be worried about what other people are going to perceive simply, be aware of what you like you wanna talk about be aware of what everybody else thinks of you, overload? That's what I grew up in. It was so hard. But so at the time of this, when I grew 30, I had an amazing and loving partner. He had his problems, I had my problems, but we had a really good thing for us. I had an acreage that I loved. I had an amazing career and job. Let me tell you, this job and this career that I had was absolutely incredible. I had at the time an amazing boss who was supportive. Like it was just an amazing life that I led. I had a supportive family, incredible friends. And my husband and I, we were what's called dinks, dual income, no kids. And we were like, we had so much money. We just lived a very good, lavish lifestyle. And yet, honestly, with that going on around me, I completely was falling apart, screaming within myself, sitting on the couch and crying. I didn't have that sense of fulfillment. However, when I stopped the noise, when I stopped worrying about what other people were thinking and what other people were seeing and what other people were telling me to do, when I finally connected to my intuition, my inner wisdom, my energetic and spiritual gifts, oh my God, life got so good. Oh my gosh. Not only did I find peace, joy, happiness, abundance, and an inner love that for myself, my life, my lessons, everything around me, I saw freedom, I saw opportunity, I stopped stressing, I stopped taking life personally. I was just like, holy shit. I knew other women exactly like you needed this information. You needed to understand the power, the choices, the wisdom, the expertise that you had within you, like right here. Okay. So this changed my life. Like when I started to tune inwards, it changed my life in multi level areas. And you will too. I promise you, right? I no longer battle with feelings of panic, anxiety, alone, disconnection, wondering if this is the right choice because oh my god, I made choice. I had choice A, B, or C, and I picked B. But oh my god, what if A was better? I stopped that. Stopped the wondering. I stopped the spiraling. I stopped the second guessing myself every twist and turn. I would even order and be like, oh my god, what if someone? Okay, here's another example. I remember vacuuming my house one day with friends and my sister over, and I had to vacuum because the more company was coming and stuff. And I literally remember judging myself as I was vacuuming. Vacuuming. How do you do vacuuming wrong? But I was so worried and stressed that someone might think I was doing it wrong. That's how much anxiety and panic I had in my life and fear of judgment I had in my life. But I stopped all that and I want you to as well. And it's 100% possible. I am not the like isolated story, right? I no longer feel isolated. I no longer feel disconnected. I'm no longer in limbo. So, my life now, the results I have now of listening to my inner wisdom, listening to my inner knowledge confidently without fear and judgment is literally stopped blindly listening to the teachers, experts, gurus, how to's, tips, coaches, and the rest of the world. I stopped the noise, right? And again, as I mentioned, when I did the freedom, confidence, connection, trust, love for myself, and my connection to spirit, my intuition, empowerment I have now is like nothing I have ever experienced. I have been able to retire. My husband and I travel the world. He was able to retire so much earlier than we ever expected. It is nothing distracts me. The only thing I guess you could laugh and say the only thing that distracts me is my heart and my intuition. I can be talking to my husband and we are learning and growing together, and all of a sudden my intuition will kick in and I'll be like, yeah, I gotcha. Or my inner wisdom, however you want to label it, right? I am happy, energetic, guided, opening women and myself up to purpose, mission, and it has 100% been a dream come true for me. And honestly, if I hadn't listened to my inner wisdom, I wouldn't even be living the life like the past 2 years of my life. Like I thought before was amazing. Oh my gosh, the past 2 years has been amazing. And honest to God, like the choices that we made in the past 2 years, people continually told us this isn't right. What about this? What about that? And I was like, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. My intuition says this is right. This is what I want to do. But doesn't mean that I don't read or hear what other people are saying or teachers or experts. Like I'm reading a book right now about the subconscious by Dr. Mike Dow. I want to make it very clear that I don't think that I'm the end all be all. I do grow and I am willing to hear things and everything, but there's a way to do it. Okay. So knowing my story, so who the hell am I? Like, what? Why should you care about what I'm saying and who I'm like? What is my mission and what am I doing? Well, I am what's called a modern day oracle. So I have the privilege of channeling a group of entities called the divine or the oracles of divine feminine energy, and they have been astronomical. And in fact, they helped me create this little presentation for you, this PowerPoint presentation. I'm a medium. I connect to loved ones on the other side. I'm intuitive, which means I give intuitive guidance to help you level up your life in a variety of different ways. And the other thing I am is a spiritual empowerment coach for women. I use interchanging spiritual empowerment coach, intuition coach, but all encompassing, I teach mediums, I coach mediums how to step into their gifts. I teach women how to tune into their inner wisdom. And that's what this is mostly about. I've had the privilege of being featured in a variety of different magazines lately, such as Business Trends UK, LA Weekly, YSF Magazine, Entrepreneur Tribune, and MSN.com. Yay! Such a privilege, guys. Without my inner intuition, without my inner wisdom, without connecting to who I am, what I believe in, and the truth within, I never would have had these opportunities. I would have never been able to reach a variety of crowd. I would have never been able to talk to you. So that's just what exciting. So when you start tuning into your inner wisdom, when you tune out the noise, what are some common results? You end up, hi Nikita. Aw, thank you, Eloise. I love you. Mwah. Made some amazing friends through my work and connecting. It's such a privilege. So, so when and you're right, Eloise, it's not just for women. When you tune into your inner wisdom, men can do it too. I just focus on women. So if any men want to work with me, happy to do that too. I love it. So, but what are some common results when you stop and you go, Okay, I'm gonna tune out the noise. I'm gonna let it all go. I don't care what the experts say. What do I think? What do I say? Well, what are some common results? And I will get into tips on how to do this too, but I want you to know the results before we get into the tips on how to do this, right? So, first of all, authentic self. Do you think, honest to God, if I kept listening to other people, I would have pink hair, mohawked up? I wouldn't have tattoos. Like, look at this, guys. Like, I would not be who I am. I would be living smaller. I wouldn't be as loud. I wouldn't be as boisterous. So I want you to connect to the authentic, your authentic self. So when you start tuning into your own wisdom, tuning into what feels good to you, you end up discovering that profound sense of self, and you end up embracing your inner wisdom, peeling away layers to reveal, peeling away layers of limits, beliefs that were never yours. You end up releasing ancestral karma and energy and beliefs you never would have understood were yours until you start tuning into yourself. And it's funny because like a lot of what you were taught, it was just like, oh yeah, well, it's always this way. It's always this way. Why has it always been that way? Well, because that's what you were taught to do, and you were taught to fall in line, and you were taught to be this way, and you were taught this, that, and the other thing. And when you stop and you go, tell me this. Is this really what I want? Is this really the life that I want to live? No? Oh, okay. What do I want? That's when you start becoming the empowered self that you have always deserved and were meant to be. Okay. Another amazing result when you start tuning inwards is you start making decisions confidently. Doesn't mean that like there's no little voice in the back of your head that's got some fear and doubt, but you're able to go, oh, it's fear, it's doubt. I don't need that. That I only have a certain amount of energy in a day. I'm not going to waste it on fear and doubt. I'm going to waste it on something willy nilly. It's like, now there are some gamblers out there, and I'm not knocking gamblers, but if you're someone that's like, why would I go put my money in a machine? It's a waste of money. I don't just like throw my money around. So why would I do that? That's what you're doing with energy. When your valuable resource of energy on a daily basis, you have a certain amount. And when you let fear and doubt grab it off of you, you're just throwing it back to them. You're like, okay, yeah, sure, take it away. But when you can stand in your truth and in your decisions confidently, that's when you put a block to fear and doubt. And you're like, oh no, you hold on, sister. I don't have time for you. I acknowledge you. I understand you're there, but I'm not giving you the time of day. I'm not gonna let that be my experience. So you experience so much more clarity as your inner voice becomes the guiding light for your life, and you end up dissolving the fog of uncertainty. This takes practice. This is not an overnight thing. Okay, I want you to understand that. Your inner wisdom and your intuition are like whispers, right? Because you're not used to them. You're used to the voice of fear and doubt and hesitation and limits and blocks. But when you start going, nah, I'm done listening to you guys. I'm going to turn up the radio to my inner wisdom and my intuition and my own experience. That's when it gets louder. And then it paves the way for confident decision making. I want to reiterate, there are times where I still make a decision and I'm like, I wonder. But then I go, oh, wait a minute. Every decision I make is for my greatest and highest good. Every single decision, every single lesson, every single opportunity that comes in my life is elevating me and making my life clearer and showing me what limits and blocks and habits that I currently have are not supporting that goal that I'm working towards. I no longer see it as life is attacking me. I see it as life is giving me the option and opportunity to hold on to this or to let it go. That's what turning into your inner knowledge, inner wisdom is going to do for you as well. Okay. Embracing fearless living. I actually really love this picture that I chose with this because it took me like I kept looking at it and I was like, is this a man? Is this a woman? Is it this an a them, a they? Or am I like trying to compartmentalize someone? And I was like, you know what? Don't care what gender this person is or how they identify. I love this photo because they are fearlessly embracing who they are. And that is so amazing to me. And that is what, when you tune into yourself and recognize how amazing you are, how powerful you are, how authentic you can be, this is like, to me, that image and like embodies the whole thought or belief around that and energy around it, the vibe. Okay, so when you step into fearless living, where the echo of self doubt fades away and the confidence from trusting your inner wisdom propels you forward, that's what happens when you listen to your inner wisdom. Like you just like leaps and bounds, guys, leaps and bounds. You end up stepping up, opening up, shifting, allowing, and just being like, "Huh, you know, I want this in my life, so I'm going to go after it and I'm going to create it. And I know that my inner, no, my inner knowledge and my inner wisdom and my intuition is going to lead the way." That's what happens. Another amazing thing that my clients have seen for themselves and I have seen for myself is aligning with purpose. So when you start trusting the little voice within you, the wisdom and everything, you start witnessing a powerful alignment with your life purpose. Okay. As your inner wisdom acts as your compass, you end up leading the way for your deepest dreams, goals to become a reality. It's so often we have these big dreams and all these big goals. And when we're younger, we're told, oh, yeah, the world is your oyster, do what you want. And then we get older and people are like, are you crazy? Only the lucky few get that. You're never going to do that. What changed? Why? Why is it when you're young, the world is has full of endless potential for you and you can do anything, but the minute you graduate, welcome to the real world, baby. Are you ready? And it's full of blocks and lots of fears. Like, what happened? What happened when we were growing up that all of a sudden the world is scary and fearful and limiting and you can't have everything you want? When did that change? Right. But when you start listening to your inner wisdom and you start listening to what expertise you have, you just start seeing the possibilities of what is possible for you, what you can create. Another common result when you listen to your intuition is the transformative self growth that you'll see. Going on this journey of interconnection leads to self trust, which leads to breaking through limits and actions and habits and beliefs that no longer serve you. And this, honest to God, ends up leading the way to endless possibilities, right? Another amazing thing that I love, this is like, to me, the most exciting thing is authentic connections. You end up meeting people that become part of your tribe. You end up getting, connected to people that believe the same thing you do, and that you make powerful soul connections, not only with other women and guys and friends and people, but with the universe and with your God, spiritual guides and loved ones on the other side that are cheering you on and going, "We remember how hard this is, and we know, but it's not as hard as as fear and doubt is making you believe it is." All you have to do is let go. All you have to do is trust. All you have to do is believe, dream, imagine, and go after that stuff. Right? This community that you've been craving in your life, it will show up for you when you start trusting your own inner wisdom, because that community is also trusting their own inner wisdom. Like attracts like, right? Another common result is that radiant self-expression. It's kind of like the embracing fearless living aspect of it. But when you have radiant self-expression, again, pink hair, mohawked up, people really close to me when I get my hair cut tell me, "Oh, you look butch," and I'm like, "Yeah, what does that mean? What does butch mean?" Like I just was like, whatever, you can have that opinion and you can have that belief, but I'm happy with it. And this is my self-expression. Experience the beauty of that self-expression as you confidently share your unique gifts and energy and talents with the world. And then you unapologetically start stepping into who you are and who you actually have always been. Who you have always been. This is not, I always find it interesting that people are like, oh, I'm going to go find myself. You don't have to go anywhere to find yourself. You don't have to discover yourself. You just have to stop listening to all the chatter around you and align to your truths and be like, oh, that's what I like. This is who I am. This is something I enjoy. Okay, because you stop the noise. You stop the static behind you and you're like, fuck that shit, right? Yes, I'm swearing. So sorry, Facebook. Another common result again is balanced well-being. When you have that sense of well-being where your mind, body, and spirit harmonize, can't speak, my tongue's getting in tongues. You kind of like get in a symphony of self-assuredness, creating that foundation of purpose and happy, limitless life, right? Gotta love talking. So these are just some of the common things. Like there's so many great things. But we only have a certain amount of time. I can't keep you locked here all day, right? So what are the tips? Actually, you know what? Oh, I can't because I can't. Yeah, I would love to love to do some readings. I got to figure out how to do card readings. I was going to do card readings at this point, but I'm just going to keep going. So, how do you find that noise? You saw the results and you want those results. So, how do you do that? Well, obviously, you're going to cultivate some sense trust. Here are a couple of tips that I have for you. First of all, my first thing that I always tell all of my clients, all of my students, and a lot of people who've gotten readings for me is ground. Grounding is going to be your number one powerful tip. I cannot even begin to tell you how much this practice has changed my life. And what happened? So not only are you grounding? So this is really it. Like, see the figure there with his feet looking like roots? That's exactly what's happening. You're anchoring yourself into the earth. Well, what's the purpose of that? Well, not only is it to keep you on this plane, but it also is giving you an opportunity to give the earth, who works off of energy, any excess energy that you have, which when you have an excess of energy, it can come up as panic, anxiety, fear, doubt, distrust, limits, habits that don't serve you. So when that happens, imagine some roots coming out of your feet and anchoring you to the earth. And what that's doing is you are literally making the earth a better place. When you have that fear, when you have that doubt, and you go, let's get rid of this because it's not serving me and I don't want to hold on to it. So what do I do with that? I don't want to give it to anybody. That's just mean. So what you're going to do is you're going to anchor yourself into this and you're going to be like, okay, I release, take a couple breaths. And then you're going to go, I am watching as the energy of fear, doubt, negative self-talk, belittling, even jokes, self-deprecation. I'm going to give that all to the earth. May the earth take it and create life out of it, create bounty out of it. I'm releasing all the energy and I'm giving it and giving it and giving it and keep giving it until you feel a little better. And then until you get to the point where you're calm and relaxed, you're doing an exchange of energy, because what you're doing is giving the earth this useless energy that you don't want, that fear, doubt, and limits and hesitation and unworthiness. And then you're going to pull in amazing energy, right? Because where you give, the universe brings in. Right. So the more you ground, you will determine with what you feel here for yourself. Is it ego or is it truth? Okay. Another thing that always has power is words, right? There's a reason why we call it. Okay. So a couple of things that you can ask. So again, I do want to point to the fact, again, I want to go back to the fact that I want to make it very clear. I do read a lot of books. I read from experts. I read books. I learn from Sonia Choquette. I learn from Carmel Joy Baird. I read a lot from Gabby Bernstein, Dr. Mike Howe, looking at a couple of other ones. Lisa Lister, Mama Gina, like the list goes on and on. But does that mean that everything I read from them, I take as biblical truth and cannot be argued? And this is what I need to do, and this is what I should be doing? Nope. I take what they say and I go, okay, how does this make me feel? Does this excite me? Does this make me feel powerful? Does this make me feel, oh yeah, okay, I can see some truth in this. This is what I need to look at. Does this feel aligned with my goal that I'm working towards? Is this my resistance? Like the resistance I'm feeling, is that ego? Or is it simply that I'm not a vibrational match? And if I want to make something very clear, that if you feel resistance because it's ego, well, you need to look at that and you need to ask yourself, why? Why do I have resistance? Or if you're like, no, this is a truth that they are saying a truth. It's their version of truth. Okay, let's make that really clear. Just like everything I'm sharing with you today is my version of truth. And if you don't get behind this, that doesn't mean I'm wrong. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that my truths are not a vibrational match for you, which is fine. And why do you have to shove yourself in a box? All that is doing, when you are selling yourself, I should be a circle when I'm a star, is telling yourself you're unworthy, you're wrong, you should be ashamed. How dare you think how dare you think differently than somebody else, than the expert out there? Every single one of my coaching clients that I have worked with, and I've worked with a multitude of women and students and taught on lives like this, every single time I tell them, If something I say doesn't align with you, tell me, and I will channel a different thing for you, and we will look at things differently for you, because you are the only expert in your entire life that ever needs acknowledgement and ever needs to follow. Okay. That doesn't mean you're not growing, but it means that you've got to follow your vibration and your truths within. So when you can say, yeah, this isn't resistance, but this truth that they feel is true for them, I'm not aligned with, that's okay. Move on from it. Or if you're going, the resistance is definitely ego, you need to look at that truth that they're sharing with you. Does this thing go, holy shit, I get this. Listen, I have been, excuse me, in my late 30s, I was diagnosed with ADHD and I never really looked into it. And now I've started looking into it and reading, and I cannot even begin to tell you how many aha moments I have had learning and growing, the appreciation, the compassion, the understanding that I have been feeling towards myself, learning about my ADHD and looking back on my life and going, oh my God, I wasn't an asshole. I wasn't controlling. I wasn't being a jerk. All that it was is that was a symptom of my ADHD. And now I have so much more compassion, so much understanding for myself. So in moments when you're growing and learning, you will have moments like that going, oh, get it now. I understand. And that's fantastic. But again, it's not because you might read the same sentence, or you might have read the same sentence 3 years ago and had no reaction to it because it wasn't the right time for you. You weren't in alignment for that truth. But now you're reading it and now you're hearing it and you're like, oh my God, it's what I needed. Was there something wrong with you 3 years ago? Absolutely not. You just weren't ready for that truth. And that's okay. That's totally fine. Your inner wisdom was saying, hey, not right now, right? The other thing is ask yourself, am I willing to try this? Is this something I'm willing to try? And remembering, if you're willing to try, that's fantastic. But if you're not willing, why don't shame yourself. Just be like, not for me. That's fine. That is okay. Willing to try and you succeed, rock on. And if you're willing to try and it doesn't work for you, rock on. It doesn't mean that there was something wrong with you in the first place, right? Remembering to ask these types of questions with curiosity of discovery rather than, oh my God, I'm kind of nervous about the answers because what if I'm wrong? Or what if I miss the point? You're not going to miss the point. You're not going to, there's nothing wrong with you. No matter how you answer, the answer is right for you. Okay. So what are some more tips to trust your intuition? Well, here is some three things that I want you to remember is, as I've mentioned before, you are a life expert in your own life. This is a couple of things to help you remember to trust that inner wisdom that you've got. Okay. So remember that every expert, teacher, coach, or guru is leading from their own life experience. Okay. So you're the only one that knows what is right for you. Okay. Think of how old you are. I am 41. I have 41 years of expertise in my own life. Whatever age you are, that is how many years of expertise you have in your life. That is expertise. You are an expert of your own life. Stop telling yourself you don't know. Stop telling yourself someone knows better. Stop dismissing all of the wisdom, because I guarantee you, whether you are 5 or 55, you have learned because you have different ways of doing things, different ways of looking at things, but you aren't still crawling, right? You can fend for yourself. You have learned and grown, and you are an expertise in your own life. Trusting your own wisdom. Life is kind of like a diet. Oh my gosh. Think of all the diets out there. Keto. What are some other ones? Paleo, high protein, low carb. Like there's so many different ways of getting to a physical health goal that you want. Some people say diet, workout. Some people say workout and diet. Some people work out and no diet. And diet is just a simple way of eating, a different way of eating, right? Whatever everybody around the world has a different diet, right? So there's more than one way to get to your goal. Just as there are multitudes of working beneficial diets, there are many different ways to achieve the goal that you want to get to. Start accepting this truth. Okay. Watch your alignment deepen when you understand that what feels right is. You get to pick and choose from the how-to list from the gurus of what they're telling works for you. You get to pick and choose. That doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're going to fail. The only way you're going to fail is if you give up, or if you tell yourself, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail. When you tell yourself that, your subconscious goes, ooh, she loves to be right. Everybody loves to be right, right? They want to be right. So let's make it happen. We are subconsciously going to achieve the goal of failure. When you say, I'm going to win, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, no matter how long it takes, I'm going to have faith and trust that what excites me is exciting me for a reason, you will achieve the end result that you're looking for. The other thing that you're going to need to do to trust that inner wisdom, take a minute and listen to what is being said. Okay. When you start feeling overwhelmed, ask yourself, how do I feel about this? Do I want to do this, or am I forcing myself? Listen to what you hear, because what you feel and how you feel is 100% correct. Okay. You are the expert in your own life, and your intuition is growing to grow. Your intention is going to grow. Don't stop with how you want to move forward. Okay. So, what are some ways to support those? I am thrilled to tell you that I have created an app. It has over 500 features. Like, oh my gosh, I was counting today and I was like, I think I'm almost at 1,000 different things on this app. So, there are some options, and it's available on Apple as well as Android. Stick with me. This isn't just an app thing, but I want to share with you a couple of tips. So there's my Intuify app. So there's a free plan. Okay, so there's a free plan. You get to meet me, you get daily inspiration, you get quotes to keep you going and inspiring you. I've given you access to meditations. And just today, I gave you access also on the free plan to Oracle Chats. Oracle Chats is where I go and I download messages, not only from the oracles of divine feminine energy, but when I'm working, I get a lot of, hey, Sarah, think about this. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so amazing. Let me do a little video and let me share this, because I don't want to hold that amazing knowledge and experience or thought within me. I want to share it with you. So I've given you access to that. So that is the free plan that you have if that's what you want. There is also what's called an Intuify basic plan. You get to meet me, daily inspiration, Oracle Chats, and there's also Trust the Message, where you can go and randomly pick card readings off of this thing. I've got a lot of different messages on there. Sometimes it's the same card, but a different message. So this is also an option for you. This is $7 US a month. Again, you get all of this stuff, and and you get to do it as many times as you want to, which is super nice. The daily inspiration, journal prompts and affirmations on this one is 90 days worth. 3 months, 3 months, not 3 months. This isn't 3 months. This is 3 months. So you get 3 months of this. And when you're done, you go back and start the journey and see how much you've grown and see how much you have elevated. The other thing too, I forgot to mention on the free plan as well, you get a beautiful little community that you can connect with like-minded people and chat with them and see their experience and see their growth and what they believe and how they do things, and tweak like when you reach out to people and you understand that you have a community and a tribe that are cheering you on, super awesome, right? You get that on Intuify Basic. Another plan that I have is the Intuify plan. This honestly is the best bang for your buck. It's $20, $21 US a month. You get everything, but the other thing that you get is I think there's like 43 so there's 43 sections of affirmations, but within those sections are even more affirmations, more journal prompts. You get access to monthly challenges in this plan. There's also a community here as well. And I also will be going live within the app where I do live. I give you intuitive advice and guidance for whatever is going on in your life, and all of that good stuff. So these are a couple of different plans for you. Again, it's available on Android and Apple phones only. I know there's other phones out there, but these are the two that are out there. So those are a couple of plans for you. But then there's the other thing that we've got is I've got this new thing that I'm starting. Well, not a new thing. I've done this before and I really like it, but work with a tribe. So what is this? This is group inner wisdom coaching. So what I do here is we connect for 16 weeks of weekly calls where you get to chat and we get some time together, and we bust the fear, stop the doubt. I teach you learn how to step into life with confidence. You step into alignment. Almost like, and one of my favorite things about group coaching is when I hear people talk and I hear my clients talk and I'm like, oh, hey, wait, let's back up. Let's change what you just said into more alignment. There are so many ways where you just speak without really knowing. And of course, like even I do that sometimes where I'll catch myself. I'm like, oh, no, that is not empowering. But you don't have, when you're just talking and you're doing it on your own, you don't have the ability to go, hey, yeah, was not a really empowering thing. I'm lucky because I get it from my guides and the oracles, and they're like, hey, Sarah, let's change that. So when you're talking and we're healing and we're realigning and we're stuff, and people are like, well, I'm trying to do this. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Are you doing it? Are you putting intention behind it? Whether you did it or not, have you been thinking about it? Have you putting energy behind it? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so you're doing it. So that, just shifting and changing how you say things, because remember, words have power. So when you shift what you're saying into a more empowering way, it helps you feel more elevated. It helps you feel more confident. You're like, damn it, yeah, that's right. I am doing this. I am rocking this. Instead of bringing more shame and fear and doubts and you should be doing better energy, you're like, yeah, I'm rocking this. I'm doing this. And the other thing that's really nice is when you do this as a group, you get to learn from other people. You get those you also will develop a soul changing relationship with the universe where you can talk to them like I do. Listen, late worker and I've dedicated my life to the universe, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that you can't do it either. I have other women that have done coaching that are still in professional careers, but they know how to get what they want, ask for the raise, ask for the opportunity, go after the opportunity, create the opportunity, and go after it with confidence without worrying or stressing nights on end whether they're actually going to make it. They know that they will. You end up living a stress-free life. You end up having freedom from panic. You end up turning, you have trust and faith. Hold on a second. My husband just got home and he's driving me crazy. I don't know what he's doing, but he's making lots of noise. Ah, anyway, so this is something that we're starting and we are launching. Well, I am launching. Well, we are launching, me and the oracles. The very first session that we're going to do is on January 7th on Sunday. So it's a Sunday, January 7th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And yes, it's Mountain Standard Time, not at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, not like the mistake I did earlier today. But so if you want to do this, we have 4 spots, only 4 spots available for the group coaching. So if this is something you want to do, let me know. And so what I want you to do is DM me. I think I decided to do, yeah, let me just go here. Yeah, group coaching. There's only 4 spots, and you have to DM me. Hang on, let me DM me group. Should have put it on the other one. So if you DM me group, I know which one you're interested in. Okay, so that's group coaching. It's an amazing experience. And the really cool thing too is you also get access to Intuify for 1 year for free, and you can connect with me. You can be like, "Hey, Sarah," in the community. You can be like, "Hey, Sarah, I need to chat. I need to connect," and I am there to help you. Okay, so that's what's really cool about the group coaching. Now, if you're like, you know what, the group coaching sounds really good, but I would rather work one-on-one with you, Sarah. This is what I want to do. This is what excites me. I want more personalized growth. I want more personalized journal prompts. I want personalized mantras. I want directly channeled messages just for me. It's really cool too. I've got that option for you. You can work one-on-one with me. Again, it's 16 weeks of weekly calls, personalized guidance. You get direct access to me, not just through the app, but I will also give you my personal private phone number so that if you need assistance immediately, I'm there to help you. Right? You get channeled messages from spirit. You will also get Intuify for 1 year. You get freedom from panic. You again live stress free. You tune into that inner wisdom with confidence, trust, and without hesitation. It's like you no longer have to think about it. You're just tuned in. And the group coaching, you get that tuned in as well. But this one's a little bit faster. This, working with me one-on-one, you definitely see those more personalized growths and more powerful shifts so much faster. One of my coaching thank you, Deja. One of my coaching clients, just a few weeks in, she was like, holy shit, I cannot believe the wild ride that we have been on. And this is just the beginning. It is really cool and amazing. So the other thing that's cool about working one-on-one with me So when I talk about personalized, path and guidance and plan for you, I really, really mean personalized. Like, I'm obviously a light worker, I'm a channel, I do everything. So what happens is, while I'm working with you, it's like you're getting a weekly psychic reading or weekly intuitive reading, weekly intuitive empowerment reading every single day, right? Or every single week. Every single week. Imagine, and like I can't even begin to tell you how many one-on-one coaching clients I'm like, hey, so this is what I'm hearing. What happened this week? What's going on here? Like, it's not that no, you can't hide anything from me, but and I don't judge you for what's going on, but it's really cool that the universe and guide and your guides are like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's shift this. And some of the things I say, I don't need to understand, but I guarantee you every single one of my clients understand the message that they're getting, and it empowers them. It helps them trust their own intuition, their own inner guidance. So after the 16 weeks, you're ready to launch yourself no matter what comes your way, no matter what is moving in your life. You're ready for it. You've got the confidence, you've got the clarity, you've got the support. You no longer worry about fear. No longer worry about doubt. You no longer worry about what other people are thinking. You're stepping into alignment and truth. So, what are some guaranteed results, whether you work one on one with me, or whether you work with the group? These are guaranteed results if you follow the process. You have to do the work. You can't, I always love people that are like, well, you guaranteed results. And I'm like, okay, well, did you do the work? And they're like, some are like, so they're like, well, no. And others are like, kinda. I'm like, okay, so let me give you the example. If you don't do the work, it's like sitting on the couch watching a workout video, expecting to get fit, expecting to get ripped. It doesn't work. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the commitment. So, guaranteed results, deep connection to your inner wisdom and your intuition, a trust within yourself. What you hear, you no longer doubt it. You no longer miss it. It's not quiet anymore. It's loud and boisterous and loving and kind. And you feel so amazing. Like you just are like, you don't just feel amazing, you are amazing. You are, the other thing, it's like, oh, I no longer feel limitless. That's because you've never been limitless and you're tuning into that truth. You have an ability to find peace around the chaos that you've got going on in your life. You're no longer influenced by all the noise and all the whirly, dirly things that are going on around you. You're able to receive the messages from the universe with trust and conviction. Also, what's really cool is you're able to understand and recognize that and trust again the signs from the universe that you are getting on a daily and consistent basis. And honestly, one of the most amazing things in my point of view is the release from panic and anxiety. Again, that is if you do either the group coaching or the one-on-one coaching with me. With Intuify, it will help, it will guide you, it will support you on whatever journey and whatever path you want to go with, but you do get there faster when you're being accountable, when you're taught new things just for you and in whatever life situation you're going through, right? Are you ready to stop living the life that has kept you in fear, doubt, and disconnection? You can either DM me group if you want to do the group coaching. Again, there's only 4 spots left, or you can do the one-on-one. One-on-one coaching is only 4 spots as well. I only have a certain amount of time. I can only commit myself to a certain amount of spaces, but that is your option. So I'm super excited. I did want to give time for questions, but unfortunately, I can't see questions on the screen. I guess I have them on my phone, but my phone is almost dead. But so if you have any questions, I'm super happy to answer them. You can DM them to me. You can send them to me in whatever shape, way, or form. One of the most common questions is, Sarah, I don't want to be a light worker. I don't want to own my own business. I don't want to be psychic. I don't want to be a medium. Is that okay? Is this program still is this program still going to help me? Absolutely. I have worked with other women who have careers of their own. They are not entrepreneurs. They are not light workers. They have continued. Merry Christmas, Sherry. Love you too. They have just embraced their inner knowing, embraced their confidence, embraced the woman that they have always been meant to be, but they shoved in the shadows because they were told they were shining too bright. You're never shining too bright, beautiful. I'm encouraging you to shine brighter. Trust your inner knowing, trust your inner guidance. Another question that I commonly get is, hey, Sarah, do you only work with women? I don't only work with women. I do work with men, but like I focus on women, right? I'm a woman. I know what it's like to be a woman who has been told to stop shining, to stop being who she is, stop the craziness. So I focus on women, but I'm there to support whoever needs it. Spirit is not sexist. I am not sexist. I support and guide even those that I don't identify in a box. I help whoever is looking for guidance and help and support to connect to the inner voice. Um, the other thing I want to remind you is that if you feel called to work with me, trust the inner wisdom and the inner connection and the intuition that you are getting. There's a reason for it. There are payment plans. I can help you with payment plans. I am more in my intention is to work with you more with ease and grace than to make it hard and difficult for you. I do have price points. The other thing I should have mentioned this and I forgot to is I don't work with everybody. If you DM me, it does not guarantee you a spot. I do like you have to apply to work with me. It's not because I'm an asshole or a jerk or anything like that, but I am looking for women who are 100% committed to themselves. I don't want you to be committed to me. That's the I because it's not going to work. Don't do this for me. I want you to be committed to yourself, to your growth, to your dream life, to the confidence that you've been looking for, but have been unable to have been able to tap into, right? I want you to feel as amazing as I do with my rockin' pink hair, right? That's what I want. I want for you to live your best life, and it's possible if you start believing everything that you hear within here. And the more you're able to tune into your inner wisdom, the more you're able to tune into your inner wisdom and guidance, the better life gets, right? So those are a couple of things. Remember to DM me. Spots are limited. I am super pumped. The one-on-one coaching, again, 4 spots. The group coaching, 4 spots. And for group coaching, we start January 7th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. For one-on-one, we start when you want to start. And depending on my schedule and what will work for you. I work around other people's schedules. A lot of people are like, oh, well, why do you do that? You're the teacher, you're the guru. Because I am here to make it possible for you. It's not like I don't want to make things more difficult, and I'm sure you have a job, right? So that's what I have. That's what I want to share with you. I want you to understand just how freaking powerful you really are. So that all being said, thank you so much for joining me. It has been so much fun to be live and to see comments and to have your energy and to share this amazing opportunity for you. Whether if you're like, you know what, coaching's not for me right now, that's totally fine. Again, remember the Intuify app that will get you started. You can even reach me on the Pro Intuify option. I do support, or I do comment within the community, right? You have to be part of the community to be able to reach me. But you can do it. And I do go and I do check on there and I do connect. It's so much fun to be able to connect with like-minded people on such a wide variety of different ways. That being said, live in love, love and light, love yourself, you beautiful queen and beautiful kings and beautiful person out there, because you know what? The world and the universe does not make mistakes, and you are here for a reason. Trust everything that you got. Live in love. Thank you so much again. And I can't wait to connect with you.